Hello. Read it here. Today we're going to read a story from our /Entitle Parents. Now, for our first story, my mom is obsessed with guys. I, 15F, have a tough relationship with my mom, 54F. All she has ever cared about are guys. I mean, yes, she provides for me and I have everything I need, but she spends all her extra money for gifts and dates with all these random guys she meets on Plenty of Fish. I can't even count how many boyfriends, or in her words, friends I've met of hers. One time she said a guy was coming for a visit, and I was pissed because I knew what was coming next, and she assured me he would be gone the next day. The next day was very important because it was my high school freshman orientation, and I didn't want some random guy to be there. Sure enough, he didn't leave the next day, and in fact was there for the next 3 months before she kicked him out. It really hurt because your first day of high school and your freshman orientation are big things, and having some random guy in the pictures makes me upset because it was a family thing. Now, all I remember about freshman orientation and my first weeks of high school, I was freaked out by her boyfriend and stayed in my room the whole time. She's moved guys in with us and moved us in with guys more times than I can count. The guys always come first, never me. I just want it to be me and her because all these random guys make me uncomfortable. I'm just seeking validation because whenever I bring it up we argue because she says I don't want her to be happy, but that's not the case. She just moves too fast with guys and brings them to close family events after knowing them for 2 days. I just want to know, are my feelings valid? Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Maybe I'm too resentful/bitter because my mom went 100% into this mindset. To the point of our home phone being cut off because she calls too much long distance talking to her men. After I moved out, she continued this behavior. Well, after she threw me out at 15. I'm 32 now, and nothing has changed, except she can sink more money into it since all her kids are grown and either don't talk to her and have cut her off so she can't see her grandkids either. Not that she paid attention to them. She was 3 hours late to my son's birthday because she wanted to watch Sex and the City on TV. I strongly suggest going low contact when you move out and have firm boundaries. Comment 2. It's totally reasonable to both love your mom and hate a part of her. I lost trust with my mom when I was younger, and it really sucks because she also did so much for me in other areas. What's worked for me is to lower my expectations of my mom and accept her for who she is. This is more because, like you, I've tried to talk to her, and it doesn't go well. I quit expecting her to be the mom I want to have. Doesn't mean she gets to hurt me or be disrespectful, but I don't get sad when she doesn't comfort me like I want or respond well to my emotions. And it sucks so much to have to grieve the relationship when I still have one. But she's not a monster, just a flawed woman. I love her, but I don't let her flaws bring me down anymore. I hope this helps. It is at least an alternative to just cutting her off if you don't want to. Just remember to love yourself and that her actions aren't your fault. Comment 3. Was your mom's father present? And if so, what was he like? I suspect this behavior might have an underlying reason. Perhaps she didn't grow up with a dad, or he was a shitty dad, to the extent that she seeks validation from men. My cousin was like this, and pretty much did the same with her daughter. When single, she and her daughter were inseparable and enjoyed each other's company. But when she met a guy, often letting them move in immediately, she would see less of her mom. Have you tried having a heart-to-heart with her about it? One thing that may help you get your point across in a meaningful way would be to highlight the potential danger she puts you in. By welcoming these men into her home, or taking you into their home, pretty quickly after meeting them, she is putting you at risk. She does not know these men and what they are capable of. Any one of them could be an ephebophile. And to be clear, if she's against stopping seeing men, at least ask her to go to his place instead of bringing them to your house, and only introduce them to you when she's been with him for a few months. By then, she'll have a better idea of who he is and whether there are any red flags to consider. I'd also be tempted to ask her what kind of man would want to immediately move in with her. The answer is a man that has nothing and is probably a waste of space. Comment 4. Oh wow. All I can say is I'm sorry, because your mom has not only been incredibly irresponsible, but what she's been doing is dangerous for you. Even if she dates these guys before moving them in, there's no way she can guarantee they aren't predators. Your feelings are 100% valid, and she isn't thinking about your physical and mental well-being at all. Now, for our second story. My mom wants to cure my asexuality. Oh boy, here we go. 18F, just came out to my mom as asexual. Her reaction? She wants to put me on hormones to increase my sex drive. This is actually so dumb. My mom is a hardcore Christian who believes that premarital sex is pretty much the worst thing you can do. Yet when I tell her that I have no desire to have sex, she wants me to still want it? This is the same woman that hates trans people and is disgusted when trans kids are put on hormones. Yet she wants to put me, her adult daughter, on hormones because she thinks I should want sex, but also not have sex. I couldn't make this make less sense if I tried. Update. Today we were talking about college, and she goes off on a tangent that was essentially her repeatedly going, "Don't have sex, don't have sex, don't have sex." I don't even know what she wants anymore. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. NB26 came out to my mom as ace when I was 17. She couldn't wrap her head around not wanting to have sex. She kept asking me if I was sure, and how did I know if I had never tried it? She encouraged me to have sex with my at-the-time boyfriend, even offered to buy condoms. It was really off-putting to me, and I didn't understand her pushing for her child to have sex. When I still refused, she did her own research and told me how some ace people still have sex for the sake of their partners. Looking back on it, I think she just didn't want me to break up with my boyfriend over it, because she liked him and often tried to live vicariously through me. Regardless, I have not had sex, and I have no plans to have sex nearly a decade later. It just grosses me out. I'm sorry your mom sucks. Stay true to yourself. Comment 2. You wrote that she wants to put me on hormones to increase my sex drive, right? It is not just stupid coming from her, but it sounds alarming, so be very careful if I were you in case she might do something illegal against you. If your gut instinct goes on high alert on her, listen to it, and it is never wrong. Whenever mom harasses you, pressures you to be cured, and she verbally abuses you, document everything so that you could be able to create a harassment report with the police. Do make sure you get in touch with your local LGBTQIA+ organization and local asexual support group for help, advice, and support too, so that you do not deal this alone. If mom keeps driving you nuts and makes you feel unsafe, remember to get out of the house and stay with a friend for a few days or a few weeks too. Comment 3. Maybe it's a grandkids thing? A friend came out as asexual and her mom freaked because she wants grandkids. She didn't really care other than that. It could be a religious thing. People that want to have sex, but don't, are seen as suffering. Suffering is good for a lot of religious people, especially if the suffering is for a good reason. I'm suffering because I'm not having sex, but I really want it is seen as good. Comment 4. It makes sense if you assume everything she does and believes is to control people. Or at least, people who believe the same have been controlling her, and now she believes it's her turn. I'm assuming a lot here, but I'm sorry she's putting her impulse to control and critique over understanding you. Now, for our third story. My mother is strangely into my sex life. At first I thought all parents are like this. It started last year when she accidentally heard my ex and I talking very NSFW on the phone. Next morning she wanted to know all the details. I was uncomfortable, but I thought it was normal. I think I should add that she came out as asexual to me. Fast forward to now. I've started seeing someone new, and we went out together. She knew because he came over to pick me up. She wanted to know if he tried anything with me, if he kissed me or hugged me. Again, I thought she was just being a mother. But then she insisted on seeing pictures of us. I told her they're private because he's kissing me in a few. She got even more eager. Didn't give up till she finally saw them. I told my friend about this, and she said it's definitely not normal. This woman is a total bitch, but I don't know if she's also sick that way. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. Buy your mom a vibrator. I think she is ready for one. Comment 2. I'm a mom of 2 adult girls and a tween boy. We make a lot of inappropriate jokes, not the tween, and laugh it off. Even jokes about their dad and I. They know if they ever had an issue or a concern or needed any type of advice for anything not just that area, they can come to me and I will be upfront and honest. But that doesn't mean I want all the deets on what they're doing. That's just gross. My mom was totally against anything sexual, wait until marriage then never talk about it type. I knew nothing, and instead of dipping a toe, I cannonballed and should have ended up with way more kids and STIs than I actually did. I don't want that for my kids. So they know if they ever have a question, I'm here, but they also know I don't want to play by play of how their relationship goes. Comment 3. My BF's mother is seriously obsessed with our sex life, and I have become uncomfortable about it. She's even used it to throw in his face when she's angry at him. I nipped that shit in the bud. Marcy, your 40-year-old son's sex life is not your concern, and frankly, it's creepy you talk to him like that. But more than that, you've now pulled me into your shenanigans, and I will not stand for it. Leave me out of your nonsense, or you're really not going to like what I have to say. Comment 4. You do not owe your mother the details of your sex life. You sure don't owe her visual aids. Tell your mom that your private life is not up for discussion. She can insist on details all she wants, but you don't have to give them to her. Mom, you're being very inappropriate. I'm not answering questions about my private life. Now, for our 4th story. My entitled parent won't let me have privacy. So, I, 21F, live at home with my family. I work full-time and go to school part-time. I currently share a room with my younger sibling, Teen. One of my parents wants me to pay rent, $200 monthly. I'm okay with paying rent since I'm working and don't mind helping. Here's the thing. I'm not allowed privacy in my room. I can't lock the door. I can't leave the door closed. I can't have the lights on past 10 p.m. I can't have my dog in my bed. Just to name some things. I'm the only one being forced to share a room, and my other siblings don't have these same restrictions. I feel it's unfair to pay rent, but then have all these rules for me. It's not like I'm out doing crazy stuff. I go to work, go to the gym, etc. So I told my parent that I wouldn't pay rent unless they agreed to abolish these rules for me or apply them to my other siblings. They refused, saying that I have to earn the right to privacy. I refused to pay rent anymore. So now I was just verbally given 30 days to move out. I'm looking, but with the housing costs, I can barely afford to move. Let's hear from the comment section. Comment 1. I wish I had advice for you. All I can say is this is completely unnecessary and unfair. Everyone else has their own rooms and no rules. You are the only one sharing a room and all the rules? Absolutely unfair. My 20-year-old still lives with us. No rent, no rules. She's responsible and respectful. She just graduated and has a job lined up. She'll contribute when she's working and making money. Hugs to you from this mama. Comment 2. Keep in mind, to force you to move out, they have to legally evict you. I would not tell them that yet, though, unless they try to force you out when you are not yet able to go. To legally evict you, a legal document has to be given to you, and even then it has to give you a certain amount of time. Verbally is not legal. Comment 3. Bet they'll wonder why you don't call or visit very frequently. I've been pushing to tough situations before, and even had to move into my car and work my way up from there. I'm still not entirely there. I live in RV, but it's progress. If you can't afford an apartment, other options do exist, even if they aren't as great. Hope you get it all figured out, and I'm so sorry. Comment 4. If I were you, I would draw up a contract basically saying you agree to pay X amount of rent, provided Y conditions are met. See how she reacts. Also, get that eviction notice in writing. If she wants to evict you like a tenant, make her do it the hard and legal way. She cannot both be your landlord and impose parental restrictions on you. It needs to be one or the other. I know prices are pretty insane, but it sounds like living at home would be stress overload. I am curious as to why she is having you share a room. Is she expecting you to take care of your younger siblings for free? That's what it's sounding like. I am also feeling there's some favoritism or golden child vibes from this post. I have nothing against charging your adult kids rent to live at home, as long as it's reasonable based on their income. However, you have limited ability to restrict them as they have become a tenant. Good luck, Opie. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more.